This is a safe space for queer artists. When an LGBT artist comes and works here, they are not a guest in a straight space. They are inherently in a home which is their home and it's their space.
Andreas Constantinou grew up living between the UK and Cyprus, eventually moving to Aarhus in 2009.
The first year I hated it. Like, I did not feel at home. I just felt that everything was so homogenous. There was no subculture. I just couldn't find myself. I didn't see myself mirrored anywhere. I walk hand in hand with my partner through Aarhus all the time, okay? And we, very often, in Aarhus, still, you would think it's such an open place. We get looked at all the time, whether that's smiles or side eyes, and we've had lots of verbal abuse as well.
Andreas shares his life experiences with an audience through performance art. In one of his more recent works, he expresses the topic of homophobia.
So I made a work around this called Champions, in which I specifically deal with my father. My father was extremely homophobic, and we didn't have a relationship. We lived together growing up in the same house, but from the moment I was a teenager and I came into myself, it was horrendous. And that persisted through all of life. Like, I would go home, we wouldn't talk to each other, just ignore each other. He didn't exist for me.
I failed to change your sexuality.
The great thing is, after this work, there was definitely shift for me in the family. That year on Christmas, I bought him a t-shirt that says, "Proud of my gay son," and which of course he was not proud of me, but it was like, fuck you, in the nicest possible way. And then the great thing is that it brought a lot of humor into the house. So afterwards, he would start laughing to himself. "What are you laughing at?" He's like, "I'm laughing at this t-shirt." We thought it was really funny.
Andreas needed a place to work on his own projects, as well as to provide a safe space for other artists. So in 2021, he established the first exclusively LGBT art studio in Aarhus. It includes one large studio, one small studio, an office space, and a common area.
I don't just want to make art, I want to do more. I want to make art, but I also want to build a little queer family, or maybe even a big queer family of other artists and other communities.
Andreas offers a residency program at Q&A Studios. He provides them with full access to the studio, as well as the offer of mentorship. The current resident in the studio is Lucas Cruz Christiansen, a Danish art performer and choreographer.
For me, it's kind of like a safe space to be able to be in a queer space where you can be without judgment. I really like their approach to a residency program, that it's not meant to be producing. I think when we are, as artists, we like to overproduce and we like to stay current. So we do work, and we create, and sometimes we forget who we are. And I think this time being here, it will allow me to basically start looking a bit more inwards. And this is the first time that I actually can get some mentoring about who I am as a person and how I can then put that into my practice.
But I think we've had a good chat today. Yeah. I build small homes and I create small families. And I think this is also to do with the fact that I'm queer, to do with the fact that I'm not with my blood family, to do with the fact that I create families, I bring families around me. I create homes. It's like small bubbles of belonging, really. So then my kind of artistic practice and my work life, that brings people together. And then we create small family constellations. I always talk about my work life and people that I'm collaborating with as my family, and they, quite frankly, usually are.